can say the words that the President of the United States can't.
Yeah.
That's very telling.
Yeah, absolutely. And, so the administration has been out, fanning out on the Sunday shows this morning, trying to, I guess, amend the president's response. One of the people who was asked about this incident, about the administration's response, was Thomas Bossert, and he is the Homeland Security Advisor to the president. He was on CNN this morning. Let's listen to Mr. Bossert on CNN.
Mr. Bossert, neo-Nazi website celebrating how equivocal and vague the President of the United States was. Are you willing to at least concede that President Trump was not clear enough in specifically condemning white supremacy?
No, the words of the ignorant bear little with me and should bear less with you in the media. Unfortunately, they don't. And what I would say is that the president not only condemned the violence and stood up at a time and a moment when calm was necessary and didn't dignify the names of these groups and people, but rather addressed the fundamental issue.
So there is Mr. Bossert saying, Thomas Bossert saying, well, he didn't dignify by saying their names. So after that, Jake Tapper, who was the host of that program, was actually pressed him further. Now, this is a bit long, but I want you guys to listen to Tim Bossert, to Mr. Bossert on the follow-up. Please listen.
These groups showed up looking for violence.
What groups?
I think it's just important for people to understand.
What groups are you referring to?
Of course, the groups that showed up. Well, I referred to the groups that clashed yesterday. I think it was pretty graphically evident.
Are you talking about the neo-Nazis, or are you talking about the counter-protesters?
One of the things that I think the mayor will make clear to you, and probably stated earlier on your program, I know he and I talked about it this morning, was the difficulty he had in planning for this event.
You, on the show today, have said that you condemn groups and condemn actions and condemn bigotry, but I haven't heard you say, I condemn white supremacists, I condemn neo-Nazis, I condemn the alt-right. I haven't heard that, and I think a lot of people were upset, a lot of Republican officials, they didn't hear it from President Trump. But I don't want to belabor this point. Because
okay, I think you've belabored it. So let me say I condemn white supremacists and racists and white Nazi groups and all the other groups that espouse this kind of hatred and exclusion. I can't be clearer.
So, Richard Painter, that clip is 1 minute and 2 seconds long. It took a full minute of questions for this Trump administration official to use the words neo-Nazis and white supremacists. What does that say to you?
Well, he still didn't get the big picture. The big picture is that there's an umbrella organization called the alt-right that operates on the Internet, has been operating through Breitbart News, and the alt-right is coordinating a lot of these people. We've had the Nazi Party for a long time, the KKK, but the alt-right is bringing a bunch of other people, having them coordinate on the Internet to arrange marches like this. The alt-right is a terrorist movement. It's a racist movement. It's a terrorist movement in the United States. It's a serious threat to our democracy, to our national security, and the White House doesn't recognize that, and they have people who were with the alt-right who are inside the White House. We do not trust the Justice Department. We're going to have to rely on our own state governments to protect ourselves. And I can tell you that the alt-right people and the Bannonites come on up to Minnesota. We're going to have our governor call out the National Guard. We're not going to put up with that kind of thing. And I think a lot of other states aren't going to put up with it. There's some talk of them trying to go up to Boston. And if they do, they're going to be taken care of. It's going to be up to the governors of the states to enforce law and order, because I don't think the Justice Department gives a hoot. I'm not convinced that they're doing anything. I mean, they're focusing mostly on trying to make sure that state universities don't recruit enough black students. They're trying to crack down on our affirmative action programs.